I just think that it would be a terrible thing. It would paint a terrible image on America, where there's other administrations, other presidents, U.S. presidents that allowed this, and though there's another commander-in-chief in the White House trying to get some accountability to the whole thing, maybe it's just they're wanting to put something on the books that really has people rethink the way they enter the United States, and I think that's really where it needs to be, where moving forward, that this is not going to be tolerated. But for those that are already here, they should certainly be able to stay. Your thoughts on this? ForThePeopleShow.com. You can weigh in on Facebook at For the People Show. You can find us there on Facebook for the People Show, or on Twitter, #Talk to Keith Allen. But I'd like to hear from you. Tell me what you think about it. Some of our audience, I understand, you're thinking about this with illegal immigration, the jobs in our country. I will tell you this, from a lot of the immigrants that I know that come over here, end up doing what I've seen, jobs that folks that live over here, have lived over here, don't want to do the jobs. And I'm not just talking about picking strawberries and farming and stuff like that Mexicans do, because a lot of Mexicans do the agricultural kind of thing, and African Americans are not doing that job. A lot of them are not. A lot of white people don't want the jobs. I'm just being frank. A lot of Spanish, folks from Colombia and they don't want those kind of jobs. Hotel business. A lot of foreigners working in the hotel business. Low wages, not a lot of opportunities, and it's really a hard way to go. But, man, if you look at any hotel, just about anywhere in the United States, you're going to find people from Turkey, Israel, different places, and that's where people come and do those jobs. And there's jobs, but they're getting them. But these dreamers were born in the United States, were parents that legal entered it, and as far as they were concerned, they were calling them anchor babies for a while, but now they call them dreamers. I guess is a more friendly term. But what do you think about this? The decision to end the program. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said on Friday that Trump is in the process of finalizing and will make a decision today. He said, Sanders says he loves children and wants to make sure this decision is done correctly. The decision to end the program, Sanders says, is not one Trump takes lightly. He says the president Sanders said takes time and diligence to make sure he goes through the process, adding that the choice he will make is weighing on him, certainly. Democratic National Committee Chair Tom Perez tweeted shortly after the AP report saying, Democrats are going to fight tooth and nail for dreamers today, tomorrow, and every day. So we know there's going to be a fight on the left on here. This is something that's going to have to be explained, if you will. He's going to have to go to the bank of microphones, and he's going to have to address the American people on this. If he's going to do away with this, if he's going to do this, he needs to. This will be a firestorm, and this could really backfire, I think, in a really negative way in our country. And right now, there's just so much division, and you don't want rioters. You just don't. I just don't think it's be a right thing to do, and I think this is going to be a big problem. I'm sure he's been advised on the repercussions of all of this. Economically, this could be a really terrible thing, and it would send, I think, a terrible message to just who we've been and how we've treated people. And like Judge Napolitano said, I mean, these dreamers are Americanized. They never went to their country of where their parents came from, where they moved from. They were conceived here. They were grown up here in high schools. A lot of these people are doctors, lawyers. I mean, they fully assimilate. They're Americans. And to send them back to their country or their parents, I mean, that's just, to me, that's really calloused. I mean, I understand the rule of law. Don't get me wrong, but you got other presidents that allowed him to do it, and now, whatever Obama did, I'm over, and I was going to ship you all out. I mean, it was a campaign promise to get rid of illegals in our country, and a lot of people subscribe to that. But how realistic is it to? I mean, it's a lot of people to just to kick out, and as you can imagine, how many people would actually evade deportation, but then they wouldn't have to go to work, and the massive raids, and then the tax on the resources. I mean, folks, again, let me throw out that number: 800,000 people have signed up to be part of the program. All right. The report said 91% of DACA recipients are employed, and removing them from the workforce would put 700,000 people out of jobs. 700,000 who would lose their jobs. It would cost $3.4 billion to replace them. Paul Ryan, again, believes that Trump should keep the program and let the lawmakers decide. If I would have to advise the president on this one, I would say listen to your speaker. Listen to Paul Ryan on this one. Crack down on the laws. Going forward, it would be the right thing to do at this time, this point in history. It's just way too many people to do this. There's so many other things you can be working on, and the contribution to this country, to the Dreamers, and all the things that they bring to us, doctors and lawyers and teachers and police folks and judges, and it's just a huge number. It's just way too much. It would just be ridiculous. And I don't know if he's just giving these words and then he's going to back off, and he just did it just for the base, for the people that voted for him, wanting him just to get rid of all the illegal immigrants, just to say that he did it. I tried, but see, it just backfired, because I'm sure he wants to keep his promises. But to be that calloused, I mean, come on. A lot of the folks there in the Houston area where Trump was, I'm sure a lot of those folks, a lot of them were probably Dreamers that were there with their family. I mean, Texas full of them. He's got to know that. Hopefully he'll think through this clearly, and for this to make a little bit more sense to him, and I just hope he will. So I hope you're listening, Mr. President. Please listen to your speaker. On this case, I think you're wrong. And folks, you know that I support the president, but this is not a good move. Not a good move at all. Do you hear about the guy who OD'd on cold medicine? This is a really shocking story. A North Carolina man called 911 this past Friday. He told the operator that he woke up from a dream covered in blood and found his wife stabbed to death in the bedroom. He says, "I think I killed," Matthew Phelps told the operator, according to News Observer. "There's blood all over me, and there's a bloody knife on the bed. I think I did it." Raleigh police charged Phillip, 28, with murder after he made the emergency call. Phillips told the operator he took more cold medicine than he should have and woke up after his dream covered in blood and a knife on the bed he shared with his wife, Lauren Ashley Nicole Phillips. Is her last name, 29. He goes on to say, "I took more medicine than I should have. I took Coricidin, cough and cold, because I know it can make you feel good. And sometimes I can't sleep at night," Phelps told the 911 operator. Coricidin, cough and cold. Do you take it, folks? Don't OD on it. Phelps reportedly said that he was not sure if his wife was beyond help because he was too afraid to get close to her. He said the blood he had on him had dried. The woman died from stab wounds, according to authorities. He says, "I can't believe I did this." Phelps was heard sobbing, "Oh, my God." She didn't deserve this. Why? They looked into his background. State records show Phelps did not have a criminal record. But he was being held without bail at the Wake County Jail, according to the News Observer and many other nation's newspapers. Phelps is due to appear in court today, and it was not immediately known if he had a lawyer. Coricidin, folks. Coricidin cough medicine. Overdosed on it. Folks, that's why you don't do it. Some of you take an extra this, and you take an extra that. This is a reason why you should use as prescribed. And the other thing is, check with your doctor. You know, when you go to a CVS, you go to a Walgreens, and you're getting a medication of some kind, find out what the side effects might be if you're taking something else. And they need to be aware of all your medications. What they tell you when you go to the doctor's office, sometimes you leave stuff out and don't tell them what you're taking. I mean, that's just a shocking story, but Coricidin. I don't want anybody to repeat what this happened, but he says it makes me feel good. I guess there's just something in there. Now I understand why it is. I don't think it's just for theft. It's people that they lock up certain things in pharmacies, and it's for people's own protection because of the effect that a lot of these medications can do. And people look for that euphoric feeling or whatever, and apparently there's something in that medication and that he does not even remember murdering his wife. Now, a lot of people have gotten off on murder charges because of medication. The chances are he might be released, and he'll probably be evaluated for psychological conditions, but he doesn't have a past, and he may be totally innocent and exonerated from this one. But I feel bad for this guy, and this could be any of us, really. This is just really a shocking story. Could you imagine waking up and having your... I just can't. I can't go on anymore talking about the story. It's just as wild. Is that not a crazy story from Labor Day? Fast food workers. I mentioned this on yesterday's show. A lot of you just didn't listen. I understand. That's okay. I'm not going to take it personal, but if you want to know what you missed out on, you can always log on to forthepeopleshow.com and listen to the podcast, because we have oodles of For the People shows for you. I think we got over a year's worth of shows. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, over a year's worth, easily. So, and we have 2 hours. So if you don't get the full 2-hour deal on this station, you can listen to the other hour anytime, 24 hours a day. But it always sounds better on the radio stations. I always tell people, radio station first. If you don't have a station in your area that covers For the People, then the podcast. But For the People always sounds so much better on the AM or FM dial. But I'm telling you, I'm a big radio person. Started in radio, and some people just do podcast only. We do it all. We're on satellite. We're on Roku. We're on YouTube. I mean, there's really just not too many places that we're not. And we're growing, thanks to you. Okay, so this minimum wage, there was this big Labor Day protest that was beginning at Tremont Street, McDonald's, at 6 a.m. A big rally at McDonald's because they want to make $15 an hour. And it says, if lawmakers fail to act on the bills, the protesters are also backing 2 proposed ballot questions, which could raise the minimum wage from $11 to $15 an hour and guarantee workers have access to paid family and medical leave from their employers. And they say it's very important because of the fact I'm doing it for them. Barbara Fisher said of her 2 children, they know I'm out here trying to make a better living wage for them and also a better future for them. That's why today is very important. Thousands of striking fast food workers, union and non-union workers, have joined McDonald's Workers' Gnome outside her workplace. I don't know.